Yate, Chairwoman Murkowski, Vice Chairman Schatz, and members of the committee. I'm Dr. Buu Nygren, President of the Navajo Nation. I'm also here joined by Navajo Nation Speaker Crystalline Curley as well. Thank you for this opportunity to testify on support of S-953. Thank you also to Senators Kelly and Gallego for sponsoring this legislation. The Navajo Nation is the largest indigenous nation in the country. We provide critical governmental services to over 420,000 tribal members, half of whom live on the reservation. Our reservation is approximately the size of West Virginia. Roughly, as mentioned earlier by Cameron, roughly a third of Navajo households lack running water. I also grew up without running water. This picture to my right reminds me of how difficult it is to live on the Navajo Nation. As you can tell, you've got family members with 5-gallon buckets of water. I remember hauling 5 gallons of buckets of water in a car daily when I would travel with my mom and my grandma. So thousands of our people continue to haul water over 30 miles round trip to meet daily water demands. Hauling water is expensive. It also costs on average $600 per month for a family to haul water and countless hours for each trip. This is crippling for the many who live below the poverty line on the Navajo Nation. Congress must act to end the water crisis. The funding and the settlement represents a considerable investment of federal dollars to end this crisis. The United States will receive valuable consideration in return. We tribes are waiving our water right claims in the Colorado River Basin. In this year's version of the updated settlement, we're also providing a tool for improving the Lake Powell's reserve levels. The cost is approximately 25% less per tribal member than previously congressional enacted Indian water settlements. Given the large populations and large reservations, the major water rights claims being settled, this is a cost-effective settlement that provides significant benefits to the federal government and the American taxpayer. Several of the Upper Basin states have submitted testimony indicating they continue to have unresolved concerns with our settlement. Some of those concerns are tied to tribes being able to lease our Arizona-Colorado River Upper Basin water to the Lower Basin in Arizona. Some states are apparently concerned because of this potentially setting a precedent. This concern is without merit. The Navajo Nation is the only Indian tribe in both the upper and lower Colorado River Basin. Moreover, it has literally taken an act of Congress to authorize this use. There is no way for this to happen again because there is no other tribe besides Navajo in this position. In an attempt to address the Upper Basin's concern, the tribes have agreed in S-953 to ensure leasing is temporary. We also set limits on the amount of water we may lease. The tribes have agreed to create a water savings pool in Lake Powell by contributing 17,050 acre-feet a year for 20 years, which will benefit all Upper Basin states and the federal government by protecting critical infrastructure in Lake Powell. Notably, this is 1/2 of the amount of water that was formerly used for decades by the Navajo Generating Station. The closure of NGS was economically devastating to the Navajo Nation and the Hopi Tribe. It is hard to imagine that any Upper Basin state would object to my people being able to use water that they have used for decades simply because of the fear of a potential precedent. Reason suggests the Upper Basin states would understand that NGS's closure was not the fault of the tribes and recognize that tribally proposed uses under the settlement of the water that was previously used by NGS is not a detriment. Unfortunately, the amount of water is an issue for the Upper Basin states is relatively insignificant, but the revenue the tribes would be able to generate by leasing their water to help pay for potential funding shortfalls for water infrastructure is incredibly significant. We remain willing to work with the Upper Basin states and we have made significant progress with some states, including the state of New Mexico, but the tribes believe we have already given enough and should be able to use our water as other settling tribes have been able to do in the past. Your leadership in securing a safe, stable water supply for our nations will be felt for generations to come. I respectfully urge the committee to swiftly pass this bill to ensure water security for all in our region. I'm also happy to answer any questions today. Thank you.
Thank you, President Nygren. We'll next turn to Chairman Keevama.